And we are live.
Are we? Are we now live?
We are now live.
We're live now?
Like right now.
But are we alive?
Oh, that's a different question I can't answer.
Terje, I dream of you and you dream of me. We both dream of Steve. It is all such a fantasy.
And
Wow.
Steve only has nightmares.
Well, it's true. It's crazy. It's like Hellraiser. Welcome to Set to Stun, a Star Trek podcast. This is a crazy, weird impromptu, and thank you for joining us. But we three kings of Norwegian are fans of Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Well, so
and
far.
we, as a character, I have been fascinated, enjoyed, participated in the debate between who is a better captain. Is it Picard? Is it Kirk? And my answer is Sisko, but that's beside the point.
True.
This year, we have been given 3 episodes so far of Picard season 2. Now, I don't know if did you guys see Picard season 1?
Yes.
Of course. You don't just jump into a second season. That's crazy.
Well, apparently in this show you could, because you didn't have to know anything about season 1 to jump right into season 2, except for some of the characters. But I mean, man, as far as I know, they haven't referenced season 1 yet in 3 episodes.
That is a very interesting point. In that, now I don't know, Terje, do you agree?
Almost. I think you could jump into this season and enjoy it moderately, I guess, without knowing the characters. But because I didn't think any of the characters had that much growth in the first season. Right. They're pretty much the same characters from start to finish. But and right, they only made two small references to the fact that Picard is an android or a robot or whatever you'd call it.
Right.
A replicant.
A replicant.
A replicant, yeah.
Jesus. There we go with that.
Hey, Captain, if you're watching this on the recap.
On the recap. See what he did there?
See?
He's here right now in the chat.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
So there is a little bit of setup for the characters in Picard season 1. In fact, the first half of the season, which I thought they got right, you could watch the first half and then just forget about the ending, because they blew the back end of the show of that season. In my opinion, that's just my opinion.
Before we get into the first 3 episodes of Picard season 2, how did you feel about the first season of Picard?
That's what I was talking about.
Well, I'm sorry, I gapped it.
Yeah. No, that's what I was talking about. So in the first season, that there's some setup of the characters that you may need to jump right into season 2, but other than that, I thought the back half of season 1 was atrocious. They just did not talk about stick the landing. I thought the show fell apart halfway through.
Well, once you got to tentacle interdimensional aliens, I was just like, what is this?
What are we doing?
This is fantasy. This is not science fiction. This is not exploring the galaxy. This is,
that happens to be my
Urotsuko Doji.
That happens to be my overall problem with the new Star Trek, all of the shows, Disco, Picard, and I believe maybe even some of the animated stuff, is that they're drifting way into more. They're not discovering new worlds. At least that doesn't seem to be the premise.
Star Trek Discovery makes Ally McBeal look intellectual.
Right.
That's what I want, a Star Trek lawyer show.
Right. There's that.
Are you kidding? Philippa Lavoie from Measure of a Man? I want that show to happen.
Right.
But like that's the thing is that it is
really good.
They made Star Trek into, and I don't want to get off into a sort of the state of Star Trek, because there are things about new Star Trek, bad reboot Star Trek that I enjoy.
Well, we were talking about earlier.
I enjoy this season of Star Trek Picard. I am enjoying it.
I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. This one fell down 100 notches for me.
But it reminded me of Future's End. It reminded me of a Voyager episode. I was going to bring up,
and not only does it doesn't remind you, it basically copies it. I'm like,
yeah.
We've already fucking been here. We've already done this. In fact, we did Cisco's and Deep Space Nine did it even better. Future's End did it better. Why are we doing this? This makes no freaking sense. And this is where the show really fell down with me. It's like if we're gonna tell our today's writers are going to interject their personal politics into Star Trek, at least for one, get the story straight. Make sure it's true. So if you just a cursory look on the internet, you know how many health clinics in Los Angeles were rated by ICE in 2021?
7.
Exactly 0. You know why? Los Angeles is a sanctuary city. It doesn't happen. So unless it's a front for drug dealers and drug cartels,
I understand where you're coming from.
They don't get rated. So one, be accurate. That's all I ask. Just be accurate. Don't make shit up, and don't make a political point in a Star Trek show that makes no sense.
Steve, if I may present a perspective.
Sure.
Now, one of the things that bothers me about the Future's End Voyager episode is that they go back and there's no eugenics wars. It's not the same world. They're going to our world. And so when it is, and also I do give credit to episode 3 of Star Trek Picard of season 2, episode 3, season 2.
Yes.
And they do say, like, they show signs about sanctuary districts. And so it does go back to the Gabriel Bell. Like, I enjoy the interconnectivity of this season.
It does appear like it's set in the same.
Trying to interconnect a bit, but I mean that whole piece. First of all, having. Let me say my piece, and then I promise I'll let everybody else talk. But this
really 12 pieces.
Right, this really got to me. First of all, this show would have been way better. This episode, I mean, would have been way better if all 3 that beamed down to the coordinates beamed down and had to just go right to the tower, get up to the top of the tower and try to find the Watcher, right? And there all kinds of stuff could have happened there. They could have, seen the blip and then it goes away, and they have to figure out why they're seeing blips here and there and triangulate, the position of the Watcher. And instead of having, for some reason that makes no sense at all, Captain Rios falls out of the sky, onto the ground, and has to be taken to this clinic. That whole piece should have been cut out. It made no sense to the episode. The only reason
it was manufactured adversity.
The only reason he fell out of the sky is so they could tell their little political point about ICE raids on clinics. It's insanity.
I disagree with you.
That's fine, but that's the only reason he fell out of the sky.
But you think that the Star Trek universe is happening in our universe? The eugenics wars have already taken place at this point in 2024. Khan has left Earth in the 90s.
Right. Okay.
And so when they go back, that's why it reminds me so much of Future's End. And I was like, when did the eugenics wars happen?
Right.
And in this one, they're going to 2024 and they are disregarding the history of Star Trek again.
Right. Well, they in Future's End do make mention to it's right at the end of the eugenics wars.
I'd have to watch it again. I do like Sarah Silverman in that episode.
Well, I was going to bring her.
She's
her
cute.
Up too.
She's cute as hell.
She was great in that. But so I think that it just when you do that, when you come to, so
Terje, were we supposed to be talking about Picard?
This is Picard.
Okay.
So listen, if I understand that the Star Trek universe is not our world or our universe,
right?
Then when you go to LA, you can't look like my LA. It can look the buildings can be the same, but do something aesthetically to let me know, like they did in what was the one where Cisco goes back? The two-parter. I can't remember.
The Sanctuary District.
Yeah, the Sanctuary. Do something like that actually shows me that it's a different timeline than the one I'm putting in. Because when they did that, it pulled me right out of the episode. I'm like, what is this crap? Why are we? What is this? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. First of all, it doesn't make sense that you can't get all three to the place they need to go. So that doesn't make sense. A lot of new Star Trek doesn't make sense like that. So I can kind of forgive that.
No, but I forgive it because it actually, like, Picard is incorporating that stuff into Picard. Like, sanctuary districts in episode 3 are a thing. Like,
but like in the episode, in the episode past
sign. So there's one sign. Man, you got to do. I think you just aesthetically, you have to do more than that to make sure I know that the viewer knows.
No, but the thing, okay. I talk a lot about jangly keys and saying that you're just waving this in front of my face to make me giggle like a baby. But when I see one sign in the background that says Sanctuary District, and you don't like I don't need Jerry Ryan to show up and say the Bell riots happened upon.
But like
just to see one sign
doesn't know what the fuck the bell riots.
I have never given a good goddamn about idiots ever.
But they're not idiots because they don't know what the bell riots are in 2 episodes of 57 or 80 episodes of Star Trek.
You're right. You're right. I'm being harsh, and I apologize for my previous statement.
Thank you very much. That's what I'm saying. It's like, there's just all they had. There was just a couple of things they could have done in that shot, not montage, but in that shot to let us know, hey, this is not our, the viewers.
Also,
2024.
But if I can bitch about one thing, objectively, in regards to Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 3. That was the worst cover of California Dreamin' used in a montage that I have ever seen in my entire life.
Actually, that was kind of a bright spot for me. I didn't mind it. I'm like, that was good. I know you don't like the dubstep version.
No.
Okay. Okay, Terje.
But to share some international.
I didn't like that part of the. I didn't like that part. Also, the Borg Queen stuff. I mean that. I know this is a different timeline, but we got rid of the Borg. Janeway killed the Borg Queen. We're done with that. But I guess we're not done with that in this, universe that we're in. So okay, the whole Borg Queen thing's kind of weird to me, but I could dig it. That's not something I'm going to stop watching the show for. But man, if they start doing more of that.
Oh, there was a part where the Borg Queen was like walking around on her just on her arms.
On her arms.
That was crazy body horror, cool, weird Borg shit.
That was cool. So that's what I'm saying. The rest of it was good. I just that middle part took me out of the episode. I'm like, I fucking hate this episode right now. Hate it.
Terje, what were you thinking?
A lot of things. Besides watching the old married couple argue show. But to give you the international perspective, I have no idea what an ICE raid is. So you have to think that this show isn't only for people living in Los Angeles. So like 98% of the people watching this show won't necessarily get that deep into why they're choosing to show what they're showing. Also, like the year 2024, I think there's a good reason why they've chosen that year. They could have gone and chosen like 2034 or 44 to make it a little bit farther from where we in normal life are currently at. Well, I do think that they are going to maybe perhaps connect this with the episode's past tense, where Cisco is in 2024 and visiting an area that looks quite a lot like this.
God.
And they also make reference.
Avery Brooks, I will so fucking.
I have a theory that he's gonna have something to do with this whole thing.
Was that L.A. or San Francisco that they were in? They were in
L.A.
Oh, it was L.A. Okay.
I think so.
Was it San Francisco? I don't know. The Bell Riots? The Bell Riots may have been in
San Francisco.
Yeah.
My mistake.
But still, it's Earth.
They couldn't go.
It's Earth. They're not that far apart. The year is 2024.
They still have sanctuary districts in Picard.
And they made.
I give the show Picard credit.
And they also quite shortly make reference when the police are raiding the medical clinic. He asks for a specific type of ID card. I can't remember what it's called, but they use the exact same term in past tense when they're asking for an identity card. So they're actually being quite accurate about what they're trying to depict. So I have small feelings of hope that this might go somewhere that's interesting, and I think there's much explaining to.
We are 3 episodes into Star Trek Picard season 2.
Yeah, and how is it? 10 episodes?
I don't care.
Probably 8. Was it
the first? When it's over, I'll be dissatisfied.
Yeah, right.
But
it started out strong. Like I said, I liked the first 2 episodes. I thought were.
I like all 3 of them. I like the season so far.
And if it's just for and some nips here, and this kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, Scotty. These new Star Trek shows they have really good Star Trek moments, but they're not. I don't feel like they're Star Trek shows, right? Especially Discovery, and the first season of Picard, especially the end. I'll have to go back and watch the show again. There's some stuff obviously I didn't pick up on because it took me out of the show. So when you take me out of the show, I don't pick up on the cues you're trying to tell me. That's not my fault. That's the show's fault. In my opinion, the show wasn't strong enough for me to pick that stuff. And I pick up a lot of stuff, obviously, but I didn't pick that stuff up.
The thing that Star Trek Picard season 2.
Plus, it was very lazy fucking writing, by the way.
No, it's just made me realize that I would like a brunette Irish Romulan to hang out with.
Yeah.
I love
everyone wants that.
Don't they all?
Larissa. Isn't that her name? Yeah.
No, Laris.
Laris.
I would, when I did my first recap, I called her Larissa, and I was incorrect. Her name is Laris. And my stars.
I think the main thing that kind of makes me not enjoy this as much is it feels kind of like someone has previously made a really good omelet, and then they decide to heat up the leftovers and just sprinkle some spices and stuff on that omelet just to kind of revive it somehow, because it's like the slingshot maneuver from Voyage Home. Cool that they did an homage to the feeling the crew went through when they actually went through that time warp. It's cool. It's fan service moments, but even though they land, the captain of the ship goes to this clinic. It's kind of like him meeting the whale woman. It's like, oh, there's going to be some kind of love interest here between the future person and the past person. And wouldn't that be interesting if we hadn't seen it like 400 times before? So they're treading a very, very...
The problem is all the tropes. For Discovery and Picard, the tropes, it's
a trope fest.
Freaking tropes over and over. And those aren't just the only tropes in the toolbox, maybe in these writers' toolbox. But there's a ton of other ones you can explore. Let's start exploring those. And I think maybe that's starting to wear on me a little bit, especially in Discovery. But you can see the beginnings of that in Picard. And what I didn't like about the first season of Picard and every season of Discovery is that they're not very good at tying up loose ends or they're setting up and then they don't pay off, right? So all these cool things that we were just talking about, like the tie-in with the bell, right? I mean, that would be dope. But are we going to see that? I mean, I don't trust these guys to actually pay those things off, and they haven't given me reason to trust them yet.
Well, but they are, and the thing is, and I don't want to be all down on the first 3 episodes of season 2 of Star Trek Picard.
Awesome.
Like, I think all 3 are great. The one burr in my saddle is the fact that they don't acknowledge the evil universe as being the mirror universe. Like it is. Like it is. You are directly making the mirror universe, but it's not the mirror universe. You writers, you're lazy.
You're lazy. The whole Captain Rios thing was lazy writing. Just in my opinion. That whole section of this episode was completely lazy. There's a million different things you could have done to say the same thing and get him even in the same kind of place. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, it is what it is.
Well,
it's
no, but
I don't like.
Like
I'm not trying to tell you guys not to like it. If you like it, it's fine.
Terje.
I was also quite pulled out of my belief in the episode when he fell down on the curb with that horrible CGI blood flowing.
That was awful.
It looked like some kind of full moon picture thing from like the 80s. Awful.
It was pretty bad.
Make the guy have some fucking pig's blood in his mouth and leak it. Come on. Right. You don't need to do that CGI. And please don't do it that badly.
That was
ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. But
work for your money, Cristobal.
That's the part of the show that I did not like, obviously. I liked the beginning, right? And I liked the end. So the middle was shaky and weak and lazy, in my opinion. Well,
and as
a whole, it steps down for me. So you know, the first 2 I thought were very strong. And I'm like, man, if they can keep this up for the 8 or 10 episodes or whatever we get, this is going to be a great season of Picard. But this one steps so far down for me. I'm like, oh man. But
I think my favorite part of this,
a bad day at the office. Maybe we'll get. Maybe they'll pick it back up, and next week's will be better. Hopefully.
I think my favorite part of the second episode was kind of the whole craziness of them having to make the Borg Queen kind of like a part of the crew. I just found that funny for some reason. It just seemed it's just so off the beaten track. That was thinking new because they've never treated the Borg Queen ever before like she was nothing more than like a total nightmare, someone you would never want to even be in the same room as. So they kind of humanized her somehow, and that was new and exciting.
It was. I like that as well. As much as I didn't want to see the Borg come back at all, the way they did it was actually good.
Well, so, and also you have to consider that the Borg Queen, because of the Eradication Day.
Yeah.
Is that what they called it? Eradication Day?
Yeah, Eradication Day.
the Borg Queen was the last Borg.
Yeah,
they were going to kill her.
And that will take care of the Borg. We don't need Borg no more.
Yeah,
that was amazing. That was crazy.
At least in that weird timeline, yeah, because like I said, Janeway already killed the Borg Queen. The Borg are done, or at least decimated.
Yeah, but that's what we're gonna have to see what that is all about, because the fact that the Borg Queen came back in the first episode and attacked the ships and stuff, that also might have something to do with this alternate timeline and Q.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too, right?
There's a lot of things we don't know yet that I'm excited to see where they're going. But like Steve here, I'm kind of, I feel that I don't trust them to do it well, so I'm just really holding back my expectations. But
well, and you know what? I agree. I'm not holding out trust or hope for the Picard show, but it's the one that has the most things that I recognize.
Yeah.
Like, it's not Q, but it's John Delancey.
Right.
It's not Jean-Luc Picard, but it's Patrick Stewart. I get to see these things. And so that's why it's the one that I pay attention to. Even I would be reminiscent for a little bit of Chris Pine.
Well, I mean, and we have 7 to 9,
but it's not. You get Jerry, but you get Jerry Ryan, you don't get 7 of 9.
Well, and a little bit of Annika Hansen, right?
Well, a whole lot.
There's more Annika than 7.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, she adds, in my opinion, she always adds to every show she's in.
How do you guys feel about Agnes?
Probably
I love Agnes.
Thing I hate most about the show.
Really? You don't like Agnes at all?
No, not at all.
No.
Obviously,
I love Agnes.
I think she's awesome. Agnes as a character is I don't know. Although it's supremely acted. In fact, there was a part in the show that I loved when she's interfacing with the Borg Queen, and it's just her and Picard talking. The acting in that, you don't often see that kind of acting in television shows, especially sci-fi shows. It was stellar. It was absolutely great.
Well, oh my stars, what's the name of the actress who plays Agnes?
Alison Pill.
Alison Pill. Her in Snowpiercer.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's that part. I loved that part of this episode. I thought that was super strong. So yeah, that was cool. I would like to see if this show wasn't called Picard. I think I told Scotty this offline that I would love to see this crew just out exploring the galaxy or doing whatever they had to do, because 7 and 9 I've always loved, so she's awesome. I like this new Cristobal Rios. I think he's good.
Yeah, but Cristobal is just a Spike Spiegel.
Yeah, that's fine though. It works.
No,
fine.
But I'm just saying,
and Alison Pill and Rob.
They're not making Star Trek. They're making Cowboy Bebop.
Well, yeah, basically.
Almost. I think he feels more like just a living stereotype with like smoking cigars on the bridge. No.
And you know what? After watching the first season, I really enjoyed the dynamic. Like, if I had a holographic staff, of course they would all be me.
Well, yeah.
And so this season, with him not playing those, even when they're on La Serena.
So it'd be you, Cristobal, and Dr. Soong are all egomaniacs.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, who created the Doctor in Voyager? Him too. I can't remember his name.
Zimmerman.
Yes, Silverman.
So yeah, you just make all of your androids and
make all of your androids come true.
Yeah.
And he also had like replicated pets, kind of like Agnes having that talking cat, which is named
He had an
Spot.
iguana.
Really?
Yeah,
It's named Spot?
The cat, yeah, it's called Spot-73 or something.
I love Agnes.
So it's obvious reference to Data, and yes, he had Silverman had an iguana called Leonard after Leonard McCoy.
Oh, my favorite cinematic Doctor.
Oh man, it took me a while. He had to grow on me because I didn't care for the actor or the character for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like DeForest Kelly?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about the EMH.
No, I was talking about DeForest Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, he did.
But one of the things that kind of makes just, I don't know, the first season of Picard just left me kind of hollow because I really didn't like the person that Captain Picard had become. I think they really strayed away from where they left him. Him kind of showing the middle finger to Starfleet and going on being all tough and doing his own thing. That's a Kirk thing to do. Sure, Picard has this sense of fairness. He's very intellectual. He's a very important and commanding guy, but his loyalty to Starfleet and finding a peaceful solution has like always been at his core. Yeah. So for him to just go bananas and just go out on his own terms, it just seems more like a Kirk thing to do, a more emotional thing to do. So it felt really, I felt really disjointed from the character when he has been like shunned from Starfleet. He's a shame, and it just felt like they were taking everything he's done for all these years and just throwing it in like a garbage bag.
Yeah,
character-wise.
Yeah, I mean, it has flashes of Last Jedi in that regard, right? Where all of a sudden you pick up years later, and these characters are now in their advanced years. And not knowing what what transpired to get them to that, to that place where they're just, they're completely done with the thing that they loved and made them who they were, so much beforehand.
I think that's the most dangerous thing today with picking up these old heroes.
It took me a while to kind of reconcile that. And I thought they did a fairly good job until the end of the first season. I was like, this is trash.
Yeah, such a downer ending the season with him just becoming some kind of animatronic version of himself. And
it's
I've said it to Scotty before. I'm pretty sure they're going to undo that by the end of the season.
I have to wonder if that's why we haven't heard a lot of reference to season 1 at all. I mean, there's a hint here and a hint there, but it's almost like they know that they made, that they didn't, that wasn't strong enough. Just back half of the season, like they kind of know what the weaknesses were. I'm hoping that that's where they're saying, like, okay, let's not reference it. Let's go forward and try to retcon it or amend it.
I feel
they may never do that. They may just go on and just kind of forget that season 1 ever happened.
They might, but I do really feel that I'm pretty confident that Picard is going to learn something through this whole adventure, and he's going to have some choice words with Q, and Q is going to be like, "I'll make you human again."
See,
you think it's going to? Oh, and that's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah. But that's why
it's my final gift to you, Picard.
The whole premise of this doesn't kind of jive with this new Picard either. With this new Picard should have known better than to even play the game.
And just to catch up, so we have a reestablished Captain Picard, Admiral Picard, and he is the Chancellor of Starfleet Academy. And hullabaloo. He tries to have sex with Laris. He can't. Reasons. And then Q shows up and sends him to not the mirror universe,
but the mirror universe.
And he says, "Oh no, I changed everything. And now you have to figure out the puzzle. What is wrong with humanity?" And so they get the Borg Queen, because of course you do.
Right.
And then you travel through time to find out the moment that Q, for some reason, changed history. So that's where we are. We don't know why. We don't know why at all.
No.
But that's because it's not over.
Exactly. So my biggest fear is that they will not explain why.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they will. I think, basically the premise of this season 2 was, okay, we're going to bring in Q, because if we're going to have extended Picard series, Q has to be there in some capacity, right? The two are kind of interlinked from the very beginning of Next Generation, and the very end of Next Generation, by the way. So I think it was like, let's make one long, protracted Q, season where Picard and the crew have to figure it out. The problem is, if Picard just chose not to play, what would Q just say? Okay, this is the way it is. I mean, what harm would there be?
No, but the thing is that at the beginning of the show, when Picard says, "I'm not going to fucking do this. I'm not playing. I'm not playing," and I would
every other time he said, "I'm not doing this, Q."
I have said this before, and I'll say it again. I think the only reason that Q hit Picard is because Benjamin Lafayette Sisko hit Q.
Oh, that's right.
And I think that Q learned how to hit back.
Right.
With
I'll tell you what, if they got Avery Brooks to come into this show and we just don't know it yet, first of all, it'd be the best kept secret in Hollywood, at least in Hollywood television.
Avery Brooks is never returning. We will never see Benjamin Sisko again unless they are recast.
And that's fine. If they bring in Benjamin Sisko,
not fine.
It would still. If that's where they're going with it, it would work. But to be quite honest, I would love to see Avery Brooks back. It would be cool. It would be cool if that's the way they're going. If they're gonna somehow connect the Bell Riots, that would be awesome. Awesome. I don't think these guys are good enough to actually do that, by the way.
But even before this episode, even before this episode was released, there's been like rumors and talks about the fact that Avery Brooks has been in contact about doing Star Trek stuff. And often in Hollywood, when that kind of stuff happens, later sometimes it's already happened. It's just kind of the trickling of rumors. So I wouldn't say that it's impossible that he will show up in some capacity in this thing. It's not at all impossible, I think.
So we covered what we didn't like. We covered what we did like. What did we think about Elnor's death in this episode?
I could not care less.
Oh, we don't like Elnor?
I like him. It's just, this is back to the whole thing that's been with me with Picard. I just don't feel like the characters have kind of gotten their hold on me.
Yeah.
So his death meant really nothing to me, and I am a guy that will get very taken with fictional characters dying if I care about them. But I just don't care about it.
And I think this kind of harkens back to the fact that we're not getting 26 and 27 episode seasons of shows to where you can really flesh out these characters. You have to do it in such a truncated kind of way in a few episodes. Especially if you're doing, my God, like 6 or 8 episodes.
That's a good point.
It's really hard to make, side characters actually matter.
Mm-hmm.
And also
his death does. I'm sorry, Scott. His death does affect Rafi in a big bad way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that kind of informs how she goes about the rest of the episode.
And let's not forget that because Rafi is so invested in, like, there was a weird, I don't know, injection of parental or some sort of matronly coexistence with Elnor and Rafi.
Yeah.
And the only reason that she is doing this, Rafi, I mean, is just to make it so that Elnor doesn't die. That's explicit. She says it very adamantly.
But that's understandable because she lost her own son due to her alcoholism and bad choices. So he's kind of become a surrogate son to her.
When she teleports down,
I admire that relationship between Rafi and Elnor.
Yeah, I think that's good.
But it is something that is like brand spanking new.
Yeah, but I think it was that kind of developed. I think the inference is that it developed over that first season. So that's something that I think here. I didn't see a lot of that in that first season. It's like it's just in the first episode of Picard season 2. It's just like it was like there. Yeah, you're right.
It's like it's happened between season 1 and 2, and we haven't seen it.
Right.
And again, that's just like lazy storytelling because they kind of force you to kind of connect the dots and like, oh yes, she really cares about him now. Why? And you have to go and connect the dots because they don't have the time to tell that story to us.
Right.
And sometimes that works, and sometimes it just comes across as
dialogue, right?
Yeah.
So when Rafi finds herself, I'm just going to read the notes I took real quick about this cool part when she teleports down to the surface into Los Angeles. It's basically in like kind of this like a homeless camp. So she finds herself in a homeless camp, disarms a robber, which is cool because some dude tries to take her money, which she doesn't have any anyways. But it's fine.
Then she robs the guy.
She dropped like a.
I suppose.
She dropped. Not only she disarmed him, she knocked him on his ass. So that was cool. So there was a banner. There's a banner for what is most likely a TV show called The Europa Mission. Did you see that? It said the Europa Mission. So there's a banner.
Not a television show, but an actual. Whenever you're looking at
I think it's an ad for colonization.
Yeah. Like it's an actual thing. Like we're going to the stars, and
I don't know.
This is what
maybe it'll be a new
we're not paying for you, we're paying for this.
So I said, this is most likely a new TV show called The Europa Mission with the tagline "To Boldly Go." So that's on the nearby building.
Does it say "To Boldly Go"?
I think it's a "To Boldly Go." I think I'll have to recheck and make sure. Let's see. On a nearby building,
that's also a bit of a slap in the face,
right? On a nearby building, Rafi mentions a backdrop of home meets homelessness. So that was kind of cool. It's like the juxtaposition of the big city and this homeless camp. So that kind of stood out to me. I thought that was pretty good. And it says you're killing. She says you're killing it. 2024. So that was good. That was a good line. Because that reminded me of what was it? The past tense, right?
Yep.
Yeah, past tense. When Bashir said something similar. So how could they have let things get so bad, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you.
That reminded me of that. I just that scene, I stopped and kind of took a little notes because that scene was cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only really notes I took. I was kind of engrossed in the rest of the show, except for the Rios part.
Well, and when it comes to it, like, are you guys enjoying Star Trek Picard season 2?
Yeah, even though I didn't like a big chunk of this episode, so far this season is good for me. I'm enjoying it. I like it. I'm anxious to see where it's going. Hopefully, unlike season 1, it'll stay consistent throughout, which would be really good, and doesn't shit the bed at the end.
I hope so, because that's how I felt about the first season. I started out enjoying it quite a lot, and then just as they passed like episode 3, my interest was just dwindling down to almost zero. And if they can maintain the level they're at now, I think this is going to be an enjoyable season. Yeah. It's not perfect, but nothing is perfect.
Yeah, and I'm not looking for perfect.
But I just want to be entertained without being angry.
Yeah, tell me good storytelling, and that's what I think has been missing with a lot of the live action Star Trek. What's so good about the the previous old school Star Trek series is it's so well written. The
good thing is we'll always have old Star Trek to watch again and again.
Dude, I continue to watch those shows and rewatch those shows to this day. And I've never gone back and watched a Discovery show. It's in its fourth season, something like that. I haven't rewatched one of those shows. I had never felt the need to or want to.
No, Discovery is awful.
But you know what? And here's why Discovery is awful. I will tell you specifically why Discovery is awful. If you watch the first 20 minutes of Discovery, first episode, it is amazing.
Not only amazing, it's the reason I watched all the other episodes after.
It is so good.
Fantastic beginning.
Yeah.
Like the first episode of Discovery is just like, I know what you're going to do. Now just do it well.
But to be fair,
they do so much good.
Yeah.
And then Oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to be rooting for a mutineer? Fuck off.
Then it changes. Then it changes to Space Jesus
But it's so good until it just contradicts. Like it immediately contradicts. Sorry,
I have to give them kudos though. A show that can make me not like seeing David Cronenberg on screen. You've made quite an achievement in badness when even that isn't interesting.
Oh, you don't like David Cronenberg in the show?
No, the opposite. I would like to like him.
Oh man,
but I just feel even he can't elevate it to excellence.
Yeah, totally elevated those episodes.
But again,
stinker episodes too.
Before we get into all the anger ball fight, like with
anger ball.
Like you recognize things from Star Trek 4 that are happening in episode 3 of Picard season 2. You can see them grasping, hungry hippoing.
Yeah.
For Star Trek 4 vibes.
Points.
Yeah, there was almost a double dumbass on you, almost, but it didn't happen.
Almost.
But you got that. You got what do we call? Why am I freezing? You got Future's End, and you got what was the other one, Terje?
Past tense.
Oh my God!
Voyage Home.
Do you guys think that Sarah Silverman will show up?
No. Huh. I mean, I don't think so.
That'd be great, though.
If there's a tie-in, that would
be that'd be great.
That would be an absolute way to bring that tie-in without having Benjamin Sisko there.
They did show the observatory in the montage.
Really? Heavens.
Yeah, so that's of course a nod to her character. But if she will show up or not, I don't know. If she's 25 years older or something. 30.
Yeah. I mean, she still does. She still looks good, man. They can make
sure.
They can make her. I mean, she's she's not one of these actresses that totally went down the wrong path.
No.
Comedians or whatever. So I mean, if they wanted her to play that part, she could probably pull it off. And remember, this is 2024.
If I understand what you're saying correctly, I'm saying I think what you understand, the same as I, is that Sarah Silverman has never masturbated in front of other people.
No. But so how I don't know. So how old do you think she was in
25?
Future's End? Early 20s.
Early 20s, yeah.
Early 20s. So early 20s in 1996, and then yeah. So she would age appropriately almost, right?
Well, and yeah, because
she could totally be in 2024 and be pretty much age appropriate for 2024 for the show.
Everybody in the chat, tweet at Sarah Silverman and find out if she's in the new season of Star Trek Picard.
She probably isn't, but I mean that would.
No, I'm pretty sure she's not. And also, remember when I said to tweet at her? Don't.
It would be a good way to tie it in if you can't get Avery Brooks or you want to do Benjamin Sisko yet.
The episode Future's End was placed in Los Angeles in 1996.
Yeah, 1996. That's what I was saying. 1996, mid-20s.
4 years after Khan left Earth.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. Sorry for swearing.
So,
none of it makes any sense.
What doesn't make sense?
Well, no, the eugenics wars and the nature of the
I thought
timeline.
you mean it makes sense for them to be there.
But in 2024, it still doesn't make sense. Like, it only makes sense based on Deep Space Nine philosophy.
Right.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I think my brain is turning into yarn.
I had to do the calculator, and Steve's quite right. Sarah Silverman is at exactly almost the age today in real life as she would have been, her character would have been. So that's an interesting thought that maybe her character will show up.
Her character's name was Rain Robinson.
hashtag bring back Rain Robinson.
Yeah. Why not?
I think it's too late since they filmed it, but
it's already been
I think fingers crossed is more appropriate.
Didn't they film back to back season 2 and 3 of Picard? So I think they're both in the can.
Oh no! So we're not going to get any Rain Robinson.
Not unless they thought of that.
We don't know.
Before we did.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't give this.
But it would be a pleasant surprise.
It would be.
Time will tell. But I don't remember the episode past tense too well, but that would kind of make sense because she met time travelers, so she would kind of know about that shit. So that'll be cool. I'll take a portion of Sarah Silverman, please.
I would also like a portion of Sarah Silverman.
I'll take
10 seconds.
Why not? We'll make it unanimous. Do we want to go to the chat and maybe answer some chats and then
do you want to rate the first, like, in terms of Star Trek on like 7 to 12 tribbles? How many tribbles do you give Star Trek Picard season 2 so far?
I'll give it 2.5 bags of Earl Grey. Hot.
2.5 out of 5?
2.5 out of 98. No, I don't know.
What?
No, out of 5, maybe. Yeah, 2.5.
No, I'm with you. And you know what? I would give 3 bags of Earl Grey.
Yeah, I'm at 3 bags too. I think because as much as I didn't like a part of this episode, the first 2 were so strong. The parts around the part I didn't like were pretty solid. So yeah, I'll say 3 bags. I'm 3 bags of Earl Grey in.
Wish them Godspeed and good luck, and hope they turn the ship around in the fourth.
Yeah, dude.
They're not gonna. The thing is that I appreciate how bad it is, but it still makes me feel that they love me.
Yeah, because I think I would give episode 1 like 4.5. I thought it was very, very strong. 4 for episode 2, and then 3. It's going downward. 3 for episode 3.
Pretty brutal when they present the skull of Ambassador Sarek and say that Picard beheaded him on the steps of the Vulcan Academy in front of his wife and son.
Yep, awesome.
Amanda Grayson.
Yeah, because in the mirror universe, Picard would be a ruthless mother effer.
You know? But that okay. So 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, right.
It drops once I do recognize the. Oh my God, 2 out of 5
for this one.
Well, no, but I hate the fact that it's not the mirror universe.
But it's the mirror universe.
But it is the mirror universe. It's like they ripped off their own fucking thing.
No, but it obviously is, and Picard never went to the mirror universe in TNG. So,
but he knows kind of about time travel with like slingshot effect around the sun.
Of course,
but he
part
doesn't
of history.
Know about the mirror universe.
Well, at this point, there's several mirror universes. This just wasn't the one where the Terran Empire existed. Just another black hole of a dirty place.
Right.
Wrong.
He would
wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
He would have to have known, because he would have to have studied all the missions of Captain Jonathan Archer, where they go into the Mirror Darkly. In fact, Q drops that into a Mirror Darkly when he walks into the throne room, basically.
He quotes it, and he
quotes into a Mirror Darkly, and he quotes what was the other quote that another.
Yesterday's Enterprise.
Yesterday's Enterprise. Yeah. So Picard would have to know about Into a Mirror Darkly or the Mirror Universe. He would have to know. So you'd have what Spock, right? So the original trilogy and Enterprise. He would have that knowledge of what happened in both of those, and the captains of both of those ships. It's his. I mean, that would be a Picard thing to do, right? Study every captain of the Enterprise and their missions, their mission logs. Of course he would have.
Or he'd at least get Girardi to do it.
Maybe.
Anyway, so on the up and up, are you guys going to keep watching Star Trek Picard season 2?
Yeah, I watch it.
I'm looking forward.
I hate watching Disco. I
don't watch Disco. I don't want to.
Actually, I didn't mind this last season. I thought was a step up. From horrible to bad. So, that's a step in the right direction at least.
Well,
and like I said,
what?
Great Star Trek moments in Disco. It's just not a Star Trek show. And I feel that's way about Picard season 1. This Picard season 2 feels more like a Star Trek show than any other of the new Star Trek stuff. So
yeah,
Terje.
No, I quite agree. Of course, I'm going to watch it. It's a shame that it comes out over here almost like a day after it hits the US, because I always get like small trinkles of spoilers. Tinkles, small pieces, pretzels, noodles, Skittles,
sprinkles.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the chat real quick. There's not many. We'll just kind of run through them real quick.
Yeah, there's mostly hellos and highs.
Yeah,
hellos and highs.
Like this one though.
Yes.
One does not simply
walk into a second season.
Au contraire, mon frère. Because that's what they did. He walked right into that second season. But that's fine.
Also, go and subscribe to Captain Marty Spock.
Marty Spock. A skin job. Yeah, that's when we left off.
I'm a skin job. Canadian Spider-Man, you monkey. At the Fantasmagorium, hello. Once again. Like, you know what? I really enjoy the fact that I know that I'm on camera and I have to close one eye and, like, lean in.
That means the drugs are working.
You could actually look in the back into the... Whatever.
No, I could expand the screen. There are so many options.
So, hello, Canadian Spider-Man. You... Ally McBeal, right? That was a while.
Bring back the dancing baby.
Yep. Captain Callista Flockhart. That's what it would be. Hail, Spidey. All right.
Moonlighting had great balance between Bruce and Sybil. You misspelled Sybil, but I know what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Miss Shepherd.
That was an enjoyable show, actually.
It was really good.
Callista was nuts, but pretty okay. Yeah, it was a good show. So was Moonlighting.
Does Butterfly? Does a picket fence? Great googly moogly.
Great googly moogly.
Thanks, Cap. LDG with a...
I think that's a hello, a wave, a hello wave.
If I may, is peak Scotford. You know what? Oh my God. Scotford is my favorite extension of my name ever. And I appreciate it. And I thank you so much for bringing Scotford into my life. When I sign legal documents forever now, I will be Scotford. Canadian Spider-Man says, you are exactly right, Scotford. The Phantasmagorium show, which is you too, Steve.
Yep.
Q hit Picard because of Benjamin Lafayette Sisko.
Oops.
And Canadian Spider-Man continues on and says, you all make perfect sense.
I'll never watch any STD.
STD. Oh, that's a pretty good description.
Yeah.
It is. Picard, maybe one or two good episodes.
Maybe, yeah. You know what? I'm hoping you're wrong, because I'm hoping that maybe this is just the one bad day at the office. So the first two were strong episodes. Like I said, the third, excuse me, the third one fell down a little bit. Hopefully, 4, 5, and 6 are better. I think it's 8 episodes, or I don't know. I have to look. I think
we'll see. Time will tell.
I can't remember offhand right now how many episodes there are going to be this season, but hopefully we're getting better than 50-50.
Well,
hope so.
Because that's what we got. I feel in the first season we got 50-50.
We should be wrapping up soon.
Yeah,
but I would like to close off on a couple of things that I am hopeful for. First things first, in reference to the first season of Star Trek Picard, my favorite episode of that season was Nepenthe. I absolutely adored the reconciliation or the joining of seeing Troy, Riker, and Picard in a scene. It forgave a lot of things.
Making stone oven pizzas.
Yes.
Tomatoes.
How Star Trek of them.
It's
I like it though. It warmed my heart. It warms my heart.
In season 2, episode 3, the season assimilation that we're talking about today, the fact that Picard, instead of crashing the spaceship into Los Angeles, decides that he knows a good place to crash, which is his vineyard in France.
My future vineyard.
his family home makes kind of makes it sing too. So
I'm pretty sure they're not home today. I remember this date. I've seen it in the calendars of my forefathers. Crash it.
Well, now we know why his father hates him.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So I think we've said our piece.
I think so. Are we done? Terje, you have final word. I just want to promote some things.
I feel quite peaceful. I'm okay.
I think
I will use this space to advertise for Norwegian chocolate milk in small cartons. Good for the environment, good for the body.
There you go. Where can people find you online, Terje, when you're not on the Fantasmagorium show or one of our satellite?
Searching awful things on the dark web.
Okay.
No.
And also, don't forget that this show is brought to you by Ensign Pavel Andreevich Chekhov.
I'm on Twitter. I have like 4 followers.
Cool.
Sometimes I do stuff with you guys. I used to do a show called Classic Cinema Corner. Might come back in a while. Yeah, might come back. We'll see. Just being busy with other real life things, not good things, mostly awful things. So I have that going for me, and
which is nice.
and well, yeah, that's about
it. Cool, awesome. Scotty,
where are you, Steve? On the internet,
you can find me here. This is about it. Obviously, our YouTube channel, or I don't usually do Twitter or on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. Other than that, you can find me job hunting pretty much 8 hours a day.
And I am an internet homeless. And also quite the inebriate. And so I usually hang out with you and Captain Cockney Spock and LDG Geeks and Joy. Oh my God, Cinema Gulp deserves a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do one good thing today, if you want to do one good thing today, go on YouTube and subscribe to Cinema Gulp.
Yeah. Today.
That is an absolutely good idea.
He has more talent in his little toe than we have in all our bodies.
And all of our toes.
My little toe is very talented, but that is a tale for another time. Thank you so much for joining us for this 3-episode ramble about Star Trek Picard. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. And in the words of Picard's mom, let's see what's out there.